Hello everyone and welcome to the first episode of Ave's tour of Eorzea. Today we're going to start our journey in Gridania and I'm going to show you some places of interest as well as the location of the Aethernet Shards. A little bit about Gridania before we get started. Gridania is located in the Black Shroud and consists of two areas. So at the moment we're in New Gridania, but there's also Old Gridania, which I will show you as part of this tour. Gridania itself is home to the Conjurers Guild, the Lancers Guild, and the Archers Guild, as well as a starting quest for Gunbreaker. It's also home to the Leatherworkers Guild, the Carpenters Guild, and the Botanists Guild. So, starting out here, if I turn away from the direction I was looking at, we've got the Blue Badger Gate, which is our starting point and the entrance into Gridania. If I exited from that gate, I would end up in Central Shroud. Turning back around and going up the path to this wonderfully impressive building, we have got the Carline Canopy, which is the tavern as well as the Adventurers Guild. So if you start out here, a lot of your initial quests will be given to you by Mother Mune. But you can also pick up some leave meats and access the inn, should you want to. You can also enter the Hall of the Novice by speaking to the smith here. I would highly recommend you do this if you're a new player, because the Hall of the Novice is basically a mini tutorial, so it gives you a little bit of an idea of how to use your skills, and I find it quite useful. It's useful to note as well that there is a downstairs to the Carline Canopy, which is the Airship Landing. So if you ever come in here looking for a quest marker and you can't find it, then it's probably downstairs. It could also potentially be outside of these double doors, out on this balcony. And that is it for the Carline Canopy, so I'm going to exit now. And if I go to the left, I can see the main Aetherite Shard of Gridania. So I would highly recommend you attune to this as soon as possible, because that will allow you to teleport into Gridania from wherever you are. Going past the Aetherite Plaza on the left, we've got the Carpenters Guild, and then over the bridge here we have got the Adder's Nest. So the Adder's Nest is the home to Gridania's Grand Company, the Order of the Twin Adders. You can join them at some point during main story quest, but you can also choose to join the Grand Company of another city-state if you so choose. It's completely up to you. So New Gridania only has two Aetherite shards, the giant main Aetherite shard there, and the one at the Archers Guild, which I will take you to in a moment. If I go slightly off the Aetherite Plaza and talk to the God's Quiver bow, I could potentially pick up Gunbreaker. However, you do need to have a Disciple of War or a Disciple of Magic at level 60, as well as the Shadowbringers expansion to be able to access this particular quest. So as I'm a level 2 Conjurer, I don't qualify. So following the path here, and then going to the left, we're on our way to the Archers Guild, so take a right here. It's good to note as well that the Archers Guild doesn't have a path on the opposite side of it. So to exit, you do have to come back on yourself. But there's the Aethernet Shard for the Archers Guild. And there is the Archers Guild itself. So at level 30, your archer can turn into a bard, which is always good to know. So as I said, no other path on the opposite side, so we've got to come back here. And instead of turning left to go back to the main plaza, I'm going to turn right and enter Old Gridania. So entering Old Gridania from that particular path near the Archers Guild leads us to the shopping alleyway. You've got your market boards and your summoning bells for retainers. You've also got the materia melder. The shopping alley itself is fairly standard across city-states. So you have an armourer, you've got jewellery, tools, everything that you would expect. If I go through into the main area here, I've got more market boards, another summoning bell, and then the retainer vocate. So talk to this person if you want to discuss getting a retainer or changing a retainer. Just going to exit through the doors here for a moment and go to the right. So the Scrip Exchange and collectible appraisers are here. So if you have a disciple of the hand or the land, you can trade in a manner of things for scripts and then exchange them for gear, for ingredients, and other little things as well. And then coming down the path here, the building there is the Leatherworkers Guild, and here is its Aethernet Shard. Now I'm going to come back along this particular path and back into the shopping area, and then take a left. Now the vendors in this particular area sell more ingredients as opposed to gear and tools. But again, we've got market boards and we've got summoning bells, which are pretty standard. Now I'm going to exit through the doors here and go up the path. And in the distance, you can see the Lancers Guild. So Lancer turns into Dragoon at level 30. And to the left of the guild is the Aethernet Shard for the Lancers Guild. And then to the right, we have got the pier. This can take us to East Shroud, and it can also take us to the residential district for Gridania, which is the lavender beds. But you do need to unlock the lavender beds, which can be done in Bent Branch Meadows. There is somebody right by the Aetheryte there who can help you with that. So continuing our little tour around Gridania, past the Lancers Guild, there isn't much in this particular area. So I'm just going to activate Sprint. Other than obviously quite nice scenery. Well, and now we're in Apkallu Falls. So the interesting thing to note about this particular area is this guy here, who is the Master of the Rolls. So whenever you unlock an achievement, you can gain certificates, and those certificates can be redeemed for armour, minions, barding for chocobos, etc, etc. And then I'm just going to continue around this path. I'm going to go to the left. Pop sprint again. and then go right instead of over the bridge. And now we're in Khetto's Amphitheatre. So whenever there's an event on, the amphitheatre is suitably decorated. So at the moment we've got Moonfire Fair, and sometimes some events can actually start in this particular area. And then opposite the amphitheatre we have the delivery Moogle. So if you and your friends are sending things to each other, or if you buy something off the Mog station, or if you get a veteran reward, you can pick it up from the delivery Moogle here. You can talk to this person here about link shells. And then here we've got the Calamity Salvager and the Recompense Officer. So the Recompense Officer is there for repurchasing items from events. So if I buy something from Moonfire Fair and then I discard the item, I can always rebuy it from this guy here. And then the Calamity Salvager is very similar, but it's more for class and job and quest items. So if I get an item from a quest and then I discard it, I can always rebuy it from the Calamity Salvager for a small fee. And then to the left, you've got the Aethernet Shard for Khetto's Amphitheatre. Then we're going to go along the path here. Now we can go across the bridge or we can go up past the water wheel. It doesn't really matter, they all loop around. But for this particular tour, I'm just going to go up past the water wheel. Pop sprint. And then here we have the entrance to the Botanists Guild. Now usually I would stop round about here just to give you an idea of the area. However, the Aethernet Shard for the Botanist Guild is on the opposite end of the area. So I'm going to just go through it just to show you where it is. And then quickly exit the area before I can get inducted into the Botanist Guild. I will do it someday, but not part of this tour. So when you're at the entrance/exit to the Botanist Guild, you can take a right. And then follow the path. So here on the right, we have got the path that leads to the Yellow Serpent Gate. Going through that leads you into the North Shroud, but we're not going to go there today. We're going to continue down this path. And then here we have the Conjurers Guild. So at level 30, your Conjurer can become a White Mage, which is fabulous. And the Aethernet Shard for the Conjurers Guild is here. Upon exiting the Conjurers Guild and going to the right, we have a path that leads us back into New Gridania. And this will exit us near the Adder's Nest. Well, we've got to take the left to get to the Adder's Nest. But then there is a path down here that leads to the White Wolf Gate, and that also leads to Central Shroud. So there you have it. There's the little tour of Gridania. I hope you found it useful. Please let me know in the comments if there's anything that you would like to see, anything that you would change, anything that you didn't like. And hope you stick around for the next part of the tour. Bye!